Imagine for a moment the vibrant redness of a sunset, not just the wavelength of light, but that specific fiery feeling it evokes. Think of the sharp sting of peppermint, that instant coolness that tingles on your tongue, or the profound ache of longing, that hollow feeling in your chest when you miss someone deeply. These aren't just data points for your brain to process, they are experiences. They feel like something. But what is that feeling? What is this raw, subjective character of our conscious life? Today, we're plunging into one of the most perplexing and captivating realms of philosophy, the mystery of qualia. This isn't about abstract thought experiments alone. It's about dissecting the very essence of what it means to be conscious, to have an inner world. By the end of this exploration, you'll not only grasp the concept of qualia, but also begin to question the fundamental nature of your own awareness and its place in the universe. The ultimate revelation will unravel might just shatter your perception of reality itself. Think about it. A neuroscientist can map every neuron firing in your brain when you taste chocolate. They can describe the chemical reactions, the electrical impulses. But can they truly capture the chocolatiness of chocolate? That unique, indescribable flavor that dances on your tongue, that subtle blend of bitter and sweet that makes your eyes close in momentary pleasure? This is the heart of qualia. These are the what it's like aspects of our experiences. The philosopher Frank Jackson famously posed the Mary's Room thought experiment. Mary, a brilliant scientist, has lived her entire life in a black and white room, learning everything there is to know about color through books and television screens. She knows all the physics, all the biology of color vision. But when she finally steps outside and sees a bright red poppy for the first time, does she learn something new? Jackson argued that she does. She learns what it's like to see red, a quale that no amount of factual knowledge could convey. How often do we take these subjective experiences for granted? We see a breathtaking vista, like the majestic sweep of a snow-capped mountain range against a clear blue sky, and we feel a sense of awe. We hear a moving piece of music, perhaps the soaring melody of a cello in a minor key, and we feel a pang of melancholy. We feel the warmth of the sun on our skin, that gentle, comforting heat on a cool spring day. These are the very textures of our conscious lives, yet they remain deeply mysterious. Why do we experience them at all? Why isn't our processing of information purely objective, like a computer? This leads us to the hard problem of consciousness, coined by philosopher David Chalmers. The easy problems of consciousness, like explaining how the brain processes sensory input or controls behavior, are challenging but seem solvable through scientific investigation. But the hard problem, explaining why we have subjective experiences at all, remains stubbornly elusive. Why is there something it's like to be us? Consider the philosophical thought experiment of the zombie. Not the undead kind, but a philosophical zombie. A being that is physically identical to you in every way, down to the last atom and neuron. It behaves just like you. It talks about feeling pain. Perhaps it even winces when it touches a hot stove. And seeing colors, it might correctly identify a bluebird flying past, but it has no inner experience whatsoever. There is nothing it's like to be a zombie. Is such a being even conceivable? If it is, it suggests that consciousness, and therefore qualia, might be something over and above the physical workings of the brain. It hints at a deeper layer of reality that science has yet to fully grasp. But if qualia are so elusive, how can we even talk about them? Isn't language inherently objective, describing shared features of the world? This is where the challenge deepens. When you say red, your experience of redness, perhaps a vibrant, almost aggressive scarlet, might be subtly different from mine. Maybe my red is more of a muted, earthy crimson. We both point to the same objects, we use the same word, but the underlying quale, the raw feel, could be unique to each of us. This raises profound questions about the nature of communication and our ability to truly understand each other's inner worlds. Are we all living in slightly different subjective realities, bound together by a shared vocabulary? The implications of qualia extend far beyond abstract philosophical debates. Understanding the nature of subjective experience is crucial for fields like artificial intelligence. If we ever hope to create truly conscious AI, we need to understand what it means to feel, not just to process information. Imagine an AI that can perfectly identify a sad human face, but has no internal experience of sadness itself. It understands the data but misses the fundamental quale. It also has profound ethical implications for how we treat animals and even each other. If other beings have their own unique qualia, the fear of a deer caught in headlights, the joy of a dog chasing a ball, their experiences matter. So, how do we begin to unravel this mystery? The journey starts with introspection, with paying close attention to the richness and variety of your own conscious experiences. Notice the subtle differences between the taste of coffee, that bitter, roasted aroma, and the smell of rain, that fresh, earthy scent after a summer shower. Reflect on the unique feeling of joy, that lightness and effervescence, versus the distinct sting of sadness, that heavy, aching feeling in your chest. These are the raw data points in your own personal investigation into qualia. It requires a willingness to look beyond the functional descriptions of our brains and acknowledge the undeniable reality of our inner lives. Just as Jung encouraged us to confront our shadow, exploring qualia requires us to confront the limitations of our current understanding of the mind. It demands a humility in the face of the unknown and an openness to new ways of thinking about consciousness. Perhaps the key to understanding qualia lies not just in dissecting the brain, but in exploring the very nature of reality itself, looking beyond the purely physical. Think of the artist who tries to capture the feeling of a sunset on canvas, using swirling oranges, reds, and purples to evoke that specific sense of warmth and fading light. Think of the musician who strives to evoke a specific emotion through melody, perhaps using a series of minor chords and a slow tempo to convey sadness. They are grappling with qualia, trying to translate the ineffable into a shared experience. Our art, our music, our literature are all testaments to the profound importance of these subjective realities. They are the ways we attempt to bridge the gap between our inner worlds. The question remains, are you willing to truly contemplate the nature of your own qualia? Are you ready to delve into the what it's like of your own existence and ask what it reveals about the universe and your place within it? Just as Jung's philosophy teaches us that our inner darkness can illuminate our path, exploring the mystery of qualia can shed light on the very essence of consciousness. It whispers to us through every sensation, the smoothness of a polished stone, the prickle of a wool sweater, every emotion, the sudden rush of excitement, the lingering sense of peace, every fleeting moment of awareness. Pay attention to these whispers, for they may hold the key to unlocking a deeper understanding of what it means to be alive. The process of engaging with qualia begins with wonder, with a childlike curiosity about the richness of your own experience. Once you begin to truly notice your qualia, the next step is acceptance, acknowledging the reality and significance of these subjective states, even if they defy easy explanation. This doesn't mean getting lost in endless introspection, but rather recognizing that these feels are fundamental aspects of your being. Imagine the liberation of acknowledging the profound beauty of a single moment, the way sunlight filters through leaves, the unique sting of a personal memory, the sadness of a farewell, without immediately trying to reduce it to a purely physical process. Think of how much richer your experience of the world becomes when you fully embrace the qualitative dimension of your consciousness. In the coming sections, we'll delve deeper into the implications of qualia, exploring different philosophical perspectives and the ongoing scientific quest to understand them. We'll uncover thought experiments that challenge our intuitions and consider potential pathways towards a more complete understanding of consciousness. And remember, the most profound insights often arise from simply paying attention to the tapestry of your own inner experience, the gentle hum of the refrigerator, the fleeting thought that pops into your mind, the sense of anticipation before a big event. Stay with us, because by the end of this journey, you might just see the world and yourself in a completely new light. Let's continue this exploration into the very heart of consciousness and unravel the extraordinary mystery of qualia. In the coming sections, we'll delve deeper into the implications of qualia, exploring different philosophical perspectives and the ongoing scientific quest to understand them. We'll uncover thought experiments that challenge our intuitions and consider potential pathways towards a more complete understanding of consciousness. And remember, the most profound insights often arise from simply paying attention to the tapestry of your own inner experience, the gentle hum of the refrigerator, the fleeting thought that pops into your mind, the sense of anticipation before a big event. Stay with us, because by the end of this journey, you might just see the world and yourself in a completely new light. Let's continue this exploration into the very heart of consciousness and unravel the extraordinary mystery of qualia. But why do these subjective experiences seem so fundamental to our being? Why isn't our interaction with the world purely informational, a matter of input and output? Some philosophers argue that qualia are epiphenomenal, byproducts of brain activity with no causal power of their own. Others believe that they play a crucial role in shaping our thoughts, decisions, and our very sense of self. Perhaps the sharp pain of touching a thorn makes us avoid similar situations in the future, suggesting a causal role for the quale of pain. The debate continues, highlighting the profound challenge of integrating the subjective with the objective. One of the most compelling thought experiments illustrating the challenge of understanding qualia from an objective standpoint is the inverted spectrum scenario. Imagine that your experience of the color red, the way you see a fire truck, is identical to my experience of the color green, the way I see a leaf, and vice versa. We both learn to identify red objects and green objects correctly. We use the words in the same way, but our inner experiences are flipped. How would we ever know? Our behavior and our language would be indistinguishable. This thought experiment underscores the private and inaccessible nature of qualia, even to the most sophisticated external observation. Let's take this concept further by exploring how qualia might relate to our sense of self and our understanding of existence. Our subjective experiences are the very fabric of our lived reality. They are what make our lives feel meaningful and unique. The joy of connection, the warmth of a hug from a loved one, the sorrow of loss, the deep emptiness after saying goodbye, the wonder of discovery, the spark of excitement when a new idea clicks. These are all deeply qualitative experiences that shape our understanding of who we are and our place in the world. To deny the significance of qualia is, in a sense, to deny the richness and depth of our own existence. So how do we navigate a world where these fundamental aspects of our being remain so mysterious? It starts with empathy, with recognizing that others, despite their different physical forms or ways of expressing themselves, likely have their own rich inner worlds of qualia. Consider a cat purring contentedly in the sun. We may not know exactly what that feels like, but we can infer a subjective experience of pleasure. It requires an openness to the possibility of diverse forms of consciousness, both within and beyond the human species. Just as Jung advocated for understanding the unconscious, exploring qualia encourages us to delve into the deepest recesses of our own awareness. Ask yourself, what are the most vivid and unique qualities of my experiences? What does it truly feel like to be me in this moment? The weight of my body in the chair, the sound of my own breathing, the flow of my thoughts. These introspective inquiries, while not providing definitive answers, can deepen our appreciation for the profound mystery of consciousness. Another powerful tool for contemplating qualia is through art and storytelling. Artists and writers often strive to evoke specific feelings and sensations in their audiences, attempting to bridge the gap between their own subjective experiences and those of others. Think of a poem describing the taste of rain or a painting capturing the feeling of loneliness. Engaging with art can provide us with glimpses into the potential richness and diversity of qualia. Now, let's consider the transformative power of acknowledging qualia in our understanding of the universe. If consciousness, with its inherent subjective experiences, is not merely an accidental byproduct of physical processes, but something more fundamental, it could have profound implications for our understanding of reality itself. Some philosophical perspectives, like panpsychism, even suggest that consciousness, in some rudimentary form, might be a fundamental property of matter itself, that even a single electron might have some infinitesimal form of experience. The journey to understand qualia is not a quest for a definitive scientific answer alone. It's an ongoing exploration that integrates philosophy, neuroscience, and personal introspection. It requires patience, intellectual humility, and a willingness to embrace the mystery. But the rewards are immense. A deeper appreciation for the miracle of consciousness, and a more profound connection to the world around us. And here's a crucial insight. Our individual experiences of qualia, while seemingly private, connect us in a fundamental way. The shared capacity for subjective experience is a defining characteristic of consciousness, a thread that weaves through the tapestry of life. When we acknowledge the reality of qualia in ourselves and others, the shared experience of feeling joy at a beautiful sunset or sorrow at a loss, we recognize a shared inner world, a common ground of feeling and being. In the next section, we'll explore some of the cutting-edge scientific research attempting to shed light on the neural correlates of consciousness, the specific brain activity that seems to be linked to subjective experience, and the ongoing philosophical debates surrounding the nature and significance of qualia. Stay with us as we delve further into this fascinating frontier of understanding the mind. The most profound insights into the nature of your own being may lie just around the corner. As we journey further into the depths of the philosophy of mind, let's focus on how the concept of qualia challenges our everyday understanding of reality and ourselves. Understanding qualia isn't just an academic exercise. It has the potential to reshape how we perceive the world and our place within it. One of the first steps in this process is cultivating a deeper awareness of your own sensory experiences. The next time you take a sip of coffee, don't just register the taste as bitter or sweet. Try to truly attend to the unique what-it's-likeness of that specific flavor, the earthy notes, the hint of acidity, the lingering warmth, the subtle nuances that make it distinct. This practice of mindful attention to your qualia can open up a richer and more vibrant world. Think about how we often reduce complex experiences to simple labels. We say, "I'm happy," or "I'm sad," but these words fail to capture the intricate tapestry of feelings that constitute those emotional states. By paying closer attention to the specific qualia associated with our emotions, the tightness in our chest during anxiety, the lightness in our step during joy, the racing thoughts during excitement, we gain a deeper understanding of our inner lives. This focus on the subjective can also transform how we relate to others. By acknowledging the inherent privacy of qualia, we can cultivate greater empathy and humility in our interactions. We recognize that another person's experience of the same event, a loud concert, a crowded room, might be radically different from our own, even if their outward behavior is similar. This understanding can foster more compassionate and nuanced communication. Consider the implications of qualia for our understanding of art and aesthetics. Why do certain colors evoke specific emotions? The deep blue of a twilight sky often evokes a sense of peace or melancholy. Why does a particular melody resonate so deeply within us? The combination of specific notes and rhythms can trigger powerful emotional responses. It's likely that art taps into our shared capacity for qualia, allowing us to connect with the subjective experiences of the artist and with each other on a deeper emotional level. Jung often encouraged us to explore the symbolic language of our dreams. In a similar vein, paying attention to the felt qualities of our waking experiences can provide valuable insights into the nature of our own consciousness. The way a particular memory feels, the nostalgia associated with a childhood scent, the atmosphere of a certain place, the eerie silence of a deserted street. These qualitative aspects can be rich sources of meaning and understanding. Now let's explore how the mystery of qualia might intersect with our search for purpose and meaning. If our subjective experiences are not just fleeting epiphenomena but fundamental aspects of reality, then perhaps our individual journeys of experiencing the world have a deeper significance than we currently understand. The very act of being conscious, of having these unique what-it's-like moments, the satisfaction of completing a challenging task, the wonder of witnessing a natural phenomenon might be intrinsically valuable. Just as integrating the shadow can lead to a greater sense of wholeness, embracing the mystery of qualia can lead to a more profound appreciation for the richness and complexity of our own consciousness.